Hey everybody, it's Gus from Askewed Reviews, and it's a new episode of Creature Madness. Now, for those of you who don't know what this segment is, let me enlighten you. So, one of my very good friends on here, named Matthew over at Horror Madness, decided to start a movie club with some of his close friends on here. So, what we all do is we watch a creature feature horror film, then each of us does our own review about our opinion about that film. Now, along with myself and Matthew, here are the other members of this club. We have Ryan, Jen, Ashley, Amariah, and Bambi. So, the creature feature that we watched for this week was. Wait, what's that over there? Is that. Ah! So, if you couldn't figure it out from my wonderful performance, the movie that we are reviewing this week is the 1975 film Jaws. And this was a suggestion from Jen. So, Jaws, of course, is an absolute classic. And it definitely, at least in my opinion, is one of those films that if you tell me you haven't seen it, I have to find you and I have to slap you about the face as much as possible. But seriously, if you haven't seen it, definitely go and do so. What are you doing with your life if you haven't seen Jaws? So, just in case you haven't seen this before, here's a brief synopsis of what the film is about. So, we have this lovely beach town, which it is just about to become vacation time, so all of the tourists are going to start showing up. But the big issue that they run into is there is a massive shark in the water that is going to just try to eat up everybody. Num 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 num. So the mayor, who is the true villain of this story, has decided that he's not going to end the festivities because money is, of course, more important than people's lives. Now, the only people that are trying to stop this from happening are the local sheriff, a college student, I believe that's what Richard Dreyfuss is, I don't think he's a scientist yet, and of course, a crazy old fisherman. So the three of them set sail to go and find this shark and take it out. But unfortunately, they're gonna need a bigger boat. Also, I can't believe I forgot to mention this near the beginning. This is directed by Steven Spielberg. So this film has a great story. It has really, really good tension, and for the time period that it was made in, really good effects, at least in my own opinion. There are also, in fact, three other films in the series. You really only need to watch the first one. Second one's not too bad, but the third and fourth one, you could skip those if you really wanted to. So for me, on my scale, I'm giving Jaws a 5 out of 5. And if you're like, hey, I could swear I saw videos of Gus talking about Jaws before, you're right. I actually did trivia reviews for all four of the Jaws films. So if you're interested in finding out all the fascinating trivia related to these movies, just look up those videos for yourself. Now we get to the section of my version of Creature Madness, where I do a tale of the tape and tell you more about the creature that appears in the film. So, first things first, the shark in this movie is not actually called Jaws. They never actually give it a name. However, though, if you are to ask anyone behind the scenes on this film, the shark's name is Bruce. Now, Bruce in this film is about 25 feet long and over 3 tons. Other than his size, I wouldn't say there's anything else that makes Bruce different from other great whites. Other than he does seem to be at least a bit more intelligent and a bit more bloodthirsty than they're supposedly supposed to be. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Creature Madness. And if you'd like to see what everyone else did on their review for Jaws, just look up the hashtag Creature Madness.